Today we're going to review the Cornelius UF1 valve. To remove the front cover here, just going to slide up and it pulls right off there, and the cover here will just lift straight off the valve. Easy enough. Now anytime we have to work on the valve here, we want to separate it from the shutoff block. This shutoff block can be a little tricky. It's got a little tab here. To remove the valve from the block, you're going to push this tab to the left. As you're pushing that to the left, you're pushing down on the top of the mounting block and it will separate like so. It can be difficult removing this. A lot of technicians, if you notice what's sliding here is the middle centerpiece. So if you push this tab to the left, don't sit here and push on the bottom and the top at the same time, because you're just fighting yourself there. So no pressure on the bottom part of it, just push on the top and it will shut off our soda and our syrup and you'll be able to remove the valve. So it can be a little tricky. Now inside here there are some O-rings that can swell up and can cause nothing to come out, no product come out. Or sometimes the O-rings can roll a little bit, and what happens as soda and syrup are coming through the valve, it can just shut off on its own. It's odd, but it can happen. So that's a good indicator that the mounting block will need replaced. All right, to remove the nozzle here, just a little twist here and pull straight down. Simple as that. I like this valve just because not many tools are needed to tear into it. To remove the bottom plate, you have a clip over here on the plate and one over here. As we stretch this, you can pull the entire bottom plate off like so. And the lever stays with that bottom plate. Very convenient. To remove your solenoid here, anytime I need to rebuild the body here, I just leave the harness attached to our cherry switch. But to remove this and the dust cover, just take the palm of your hand here and give it a twist like you're going to break it, and it comes right off. So this is our solenoid, and inside, you lift the dust cover off here. Here's your armature, just like the other valves. When this is energized with 24 volts AC, this turns into an electromagnet, and it pulls down on this yoke here. As it pulls down, it pushes on your paddle arms, which allows for the flow of syrup and water to go through the nozzle. As we de-energize that solenoid, it's then released by these return springs in here. Those will return the paddle arm shut, dams it shut to allow, or not allow, for the flow of water and syrup. All right, if we need to get to the housing here that has our adjustment controls, flow controls in there, to remove that, on the back wall we have a retainer clip here. So if you just grabbed a flathead screwdriver, pull up on this retainer clip like so, you can now release that upper valve body here. Anywhere there's O-rings can be a potential leak, or they can swell up. This is the old style one. This is like a hard plastic O-ring. The new style have, they're black, more rubberized than this, so they hold up a lot better. But if you have a leak in between the upper flow control and the body here, good indicator that the O-rings would need replaced. In here is our flow controls. Technically, on repair, we can leave this in place and pull this out, but for today I got it out of the valve here. But 3 screws here. All right, so remove that plate. These are adjustment controls, so when we do our ratios, we turn that in, you get more, you turn it out, you get less. So if this was in the valve here, always the left-hand side is our water side, and then the right-hand side is going to be our syrup side. To get these adjustment controls out, just give it a little wiggle, and they will come out of place. Spring may pop out too. Okay, this is nice. You just flip it all over. Everything should come out. Like so. We'll line these up for you here to show you the difference. Okay, the sleeves here, left and right, are the same part number. However, just like in our other valves, the spools here, you notice one has a larger hole in there. That larger hole is the water side. Since 80% of our drink's water, we got a greater flow, so need a larger hole. Spring tension, the stiffer spring is going to be on your soda side. Just remember that. So that's all to the chamber here. There's not much in there, just O-rings and your flow controls. Okay. To reinstall, make sure these holes are facing up on the sleeve when you put it in here. That can affect your ratio if you put it upside down. Looking at the valve, how it goes on the tower here, that's my left-hand side. So that's where the larger hole is going to go. Just be gentle with the spool and sleeve here. They are ceramic, so they are fragile. Just give it a little wiggle here, and it should pop right in there, slide right in there. Well, maybe too easy that way. And then we'll drop the other one in the other side. We'll put our springs in there. Remember, more tension on the water side. We will put our adjustment controls back on here. Left and right are the same part number, so it doesn't matter if you mix those up. And we're going to put our plate on here. Just make sure the words are facing outwards. It's basically telling you there's a W on the left-hand side for the water side. There is a S for syrup on the right-hand side. And it's telling you to increase, you turn this clockwise. Decrease, you turn it counterclockwise. That's when we ratio the valve. So after repair, you definitely want to do a ratio. Okay, 3 screws. Go back in and secure the plate. Don't over tighten your screws. Okay, and again, that's held on. We put this back in here. It's held on by that retainer clip in the back here. But we're going to proceed forward and tear apart the piece that holds our paddle arms in place here and our yoke. So if we remove these 5 screws on the front, that will now release this housing, and everything's going to fall out of there. So we will slowly go through how it gets put back together. Now, the good thing with the valve is if you don't know how it goes back together, you typically have another 5 or 7 valves on that tower you can look at. To put our yoke in here, so what the yoke does, again, is pushing down on your paddle arms to allow for the flow of syrup and water to pass through here. Now, it can be challenging putting this back together, but first thing you want to do is put your yoke in place here, and it just sits right on there. You can see that there. Let me zoom in for you. A tech told me once, he goes, I install it looks like, a chair. You can sit in a chair this way. If you put it backwards, like so, you can't sit in a chair. So that kind of stuck with me. With this laying down, just set it in there in the groove like a chair. So next thing, I do the springs last that go in here, but we're going to lay our paddle arms in here. Now, the paddle arms are the same part number left and right if you have the black paddles. The older valves, you had a like a yellowish one, and you had black. Yellow one was for syrup, black was for water. However, the new ones, the paddles are the same number. But just like our other valves, you can see there's an indentation in here. If that swells up, that's what's damming the water and the syrup shut. If they swell up, it may be hard to ratio. So if you can't ratio right, you got the adjustment screws all the way pushed in and you still can't increase the flow, it's a good indicator that these paddles are swollen and needs replaced. All right, next thing I'm going to do, as again, the yoke sitting in there like a chair. I got the 2 paddle arms sitting in there. I am now going to put my other housing in place here and support it with my hands. Just want to make sure there's good movement on here. And how this valve works, when it fires, your solenoid's pulling up on this yoke and it pushes on those paddle arms. Okay. Now, ultimately, the springs will go right into here to reset them back in place when we're not firing that valve. I do that after I put these 5 screws back in place in the front here. Okay, so once those are in place here, we're now going to put our springs in here. And the springs, again, go between this tab that's on the paddle arm and the tab that's on the housing there. So I just take my finger and, put the one down on the tab down here, and then the other one, it may be hard to show on camera, the other one on the tab on the paddle arm. Okay, they can be challenging as you do it more. The more efficient you become. That could be a challenging deal getting that on there. Try it with a screwdriver here. See, even me. So those are both in place, like so. Okay, once that's in there, we're going to put our upper housing back in place here. Just make sure this yoke has returned to pushing the paddles here. We don't want to do this number. Put this in here and the paddle's in the back, so just push that forward. And then we're going to reinstall the upper housing. And that upper housing, again, is held in by a retainer clip in the back. So you have a couple holes right here that screws in or slides into and secures it in place. All right, we're going to put our solenoid back on with the wire harness assembly. So the solenoid, the armature, that groove will go right into that yoke. And then we just force it in with the palm of your hand and it clips in place there. So really when this is on the tower, you can get the flow of water and syrup through your valve by just pushing manually. You're pushing on that armature, which ultimately the yoke is pushing open the paddle arms. So maybe you want to do, see if you got good soda and syrup coming through the valve itself. We don't need to energize it technically. We can just open this up and push this manually, and it should always flow. Again, that coil is just turning an electromagnet, magnetizes, pulls that metal armature in, which opens it up, with 24 volts AC. Dust cover, because we don't want any dirt or syrup or anything go in this solenoid. It could make it stick. So they have a dust cover that just slides right on and covers our armature, like so. It also supports our wire harness. Okay. Now, before we put the lever in, you do have a couple tabs here that the cherry switch is going into, or micro switch. Make sure that's in place. You can probably see little tabs right there. Make sure that's lined up and support it with your thumb. And then we can put our bottom plate in there, because what's holding that in there is this little clip on the bottom plate is going to hold that switch in place. You see that? Okay. So I put this at a 45-degree angle, and there's a couple little notches in here in the back wall here. So I put 45-degree angle, and then take the palm of my hand, just push this down in place, and it should clip right on there. Okay. I don't know if we can zoom in here, but if I took it apart, now I can't take it apart. Okay. Put this, again, switch on the tabs there, support it with your thumb. Put this at a 45-degree angle, that little tab there in the back wall, and then push this up 45-degree angle. It'll snap in place, and then when I hit my lever, you can see it's clicking that switch. We can then put our nozzle and diffuser on here, just screws right in place, just like so. Okay, at this point, you're going to connect it to your tower, to your shutoff block here. So just push it on the tower here. And to engage the shutoff block, you're going to push on the bottom here. And you'll see it rotate up, and you want to hear that snap, that clip on there. If it's not clipped on, that valve may fall right off as you dispense soda. So nice, nice easy clip on there. We can put our cover back on. If I put it on the right way, cover back on. And then our front cover will support the whole piece there. So that's the Cornelius UF1 valve. Pretty simple valve. Probably prefer this over the LEV sometimes. LEV has a lot of screws, but they both have their pros and cons.